call for the queen.
I never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that. I got the streets on my back.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're...
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. Here comes Bruce Ellington at a return. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. On first down, Stafford here. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to. I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. Orchestrating the offense will be the top pick in the 2018 draft, and that's Baker Mayfield.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. He finds an opening past the 40. Fancy footwork at the 45. And finally taken down at the 30-yard line. A big run by Kareem Hunt. Give him 42 yards on the ground. Well, welcome to the party. First carry of the game. How about that?
And just think, as far as he's concerned, he's just getting warmed up.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Down to about the 22 here. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
They'll toss it to Hunt, and they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. A first red zone opportunity now for the Packers. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This is caught. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Travis Kelce, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Packers have taken the early lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Crosby on now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Give them a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Riddick, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
You give them a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. Out of the gun, Stafford. Caught, right side, it's Lewis. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. He's going to air one out. It's caught inside the 25. A big play on 3rd down for the Lions. 41 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Riddick with a carry. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They'll give it to him up the middle. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Now Stafford. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line. Kenny Clark coming up the middle, gets in there for a loss of about 9.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
Now Stafford on 3rd and goal. And too much on that one. It's out of the back of the end zone, incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Well, that's something of a pick-me-up, and the offense certainly has struggled, but they do get the field goal before half to put 3 on the board.
Yeah, you don't want to be shut out, but let's face it, those 3 points, that's not going to solve all their problems either.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
He's going to look deep now for it. He's got a man, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
A minute 59 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Mayfield down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this is one. Downsides of being a rookie quarterback. You know you're going to get called out about everything you do that goes wrong. Here, maybe he's a little uncertain about where to go with the football, and at this level, uncertainty equals turnovers. And this one winds up being intercepted.
Stafford, and his throw's going to be incomplete. Kenny Galladay is intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit. But Owen Lewis lost the football, and the Packers pick it up. And this drive will start on the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offense...
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
This challenge was initiated by the guys in New York. Taking a look at the play, less than 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I'm sure the coach wanted to challenge it, so he's probably going to send the New York office a holiday card. Following the fumble recovery, Stafford. It's caught. Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. Stafford on first down. The left side completion to Jones. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. That throw good for 4. It's second down. The Lions need to move. They're hustling to the line now. To throw on second down is Stafford. And the connection made to Terrell Pryor. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now a first down throw. Stafford throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Second and 10, Stafford again. And this is incomplete. That one doesn't find its target, but all in all, he's been much sharper this week. He was under 50% a week ago, and now he's up over 70%.
Well, you know it's standard for quarterbacks and receivers get together for a little extra time each and every day in practice. I get the sense they got together for a lot of extra time this week to try and improve that passing percentage, and it's worked out quite well.
On third down, Stafford. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
On first down, it's Stafford. Throw left side, taken in by Galladay. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. Throwing again is Stafford. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions are in for 6.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Extra point good by Prater. And the lead is now 10-7. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. Now the return. Here comes Randall Cobb. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat. Make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. He got 29 yards that time. Final play of the half, Mayfield. Now on the run, he'll throw it back deep. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Nevin Lawson with a pick. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Wait a second, they did not. We now proceed to the start of the second half. So we've reached halftime here in Detroit with the Lions out on top. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And he's got his man. That's Landry. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Odell Beckham, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Packers are able to cash in for 6.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Crosby with the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. Crosby on now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Out to the flat for Riddick. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First target, first catch, and a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. And I think he's a guy, if they had let him walk, no one was going to be shouting from the top of a mountain, but he's a good guy. He's a good locker room guy, too.
good locker room, and a good player. I mean, he's a valuable starter for them. And if you just want to start over and maybe bring in someone new, the learning curve might be a little bit big. So it's a good job by getting him taken care of, and now they can move forward.
They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A very solid gain of 27. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
They'll let it go deep for Beckham. It's caught inside the 25. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21.
Offense.
Now that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play. It gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That goes for a gain of 31.
I don't know about you, but I haven't met a receiver yet that doesn't like to run post routes.
And Odell Beckham Jr., he loves post routes, doesn't he?
He really does, and I think the reason he's so successful with them, as we just saw there, is the intensity with which he runs the route. I mean, even when you know it's coming and you're covering it well, his intensity seems to win the day for him.
He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. And again, it's Mayfield. He's got a man wide open. It's Landry. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. It's a good pickup of 7 yards, and now they're looking at 2nd and goal.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines.
Back now at Ford Field. It's Packer football here as they've got the lead as well to begin the 4th quarter. 2nd and goal from the 1. It's a quarterback sneak. And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Baker Mayfield with his 3rd touchdown of the ball game, number 12 on the season. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. So with 2nd and goal, still had a couple of downs to work with. They tried to sneak, and they got in.
I like the idea that they did it early in the down and distance count. 2nd down as opposed to waiting later on. I think it fooled them a little bit, but how about the push they got up front to get the quarterback through?
Big push and a touchdown to boot. Crosby on now to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. Decent start to the drive there. Of course, they need the touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal.
Yeah, those guys are into it. How about the guys on the sidelines? You see the coaches signaling, all the personnel groups up on the sideline ready to go in and out of the game. They've got to condense their time now in order to try and get back into it.
He'll get this one to Galladay. He had their lone TD earlier. Now he's got a first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Stafford now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And his throw here's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
21.
To throw on 3rd down. Stafford complete to Jones. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Desperation time for Stafford on 4th down. And that's complete to Lewis. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Matt Ioannidis in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Here's Stafford. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Now it's Stafford. And that's complete. It's Allington. And he gets it down to the 32. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a first down when you want 3. Get a little bit closer, making an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
So plenty of leg, but it's the accuracy there that lets him down.
Yeah, he hit it really well. I think this might have been good from 55, but you'll see it just conk off that upright, and they're denied a chance at 3 points.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Over!
Well, the lead late in the fourth, but Mayfield's going to throw it. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
No, Jack, Patriot! Here we go!
On 1st and 10, Mayfield. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. A toss play to Hunt. A big hitter there. A 1st down gain of 26 yards.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers had... onto their lead. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A drive there of just 4 plays. And Kareem Hunt, the one to finish it off, as he did so with a touchdown run. Crosby on now to kick it away. Now it's Ellington to return. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we've got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again.
On 1st and 10, Stafford looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Jones. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And out across midfield down to the 45. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. On 1st down, Stafford here. He hits Riddick underneath. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. The Lions on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Stafford. This is brought in by Pryor. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. And he clocks it with just over 30 seconds left. Again, it's Stafford. Oh, a hit. He lost gets the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And this is going to be Packer football.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
All right, now, look at 56. Look it.
So instead of running, Mayfield's going to throw it here. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
All right, now, look at 56. Look at 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Mayfield to throw it. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Green Bay, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1. And they'll return home next week to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And perhaps fortunately for them, they'll get an early bye next week and come back to action in Week 7.